Hello and welcome to Veggie Patch Ideas. Today it's all about the summer and what we're sowing and growing in July. Now here on the allotment site, it is a hive of activity and everything is growing pretty much the way we want it to. It's been a dreadful start. The sun is finally shining and we're getting going and we're getting closer to that midway of the season. So now is the month we tend to look towards the future and to sow things that you wouldn't be thinking you're sowing now, but this is what we do, and we've got the list to go through with you today as well. And there are quite a few things in the ground, so I'll take you on a little tour around as we go and I'll show you what I'm sowing and what I'm re-sowing, more to the point, which is going to keep us going throughout the later months, so out of August, September, October sort of time. So with that being said, first on the list it's salad potatoes, and I do like to sow these into bags, and these won't be sown yet, by the way. These will be sown to the later half of July, so don't go rushing into it just yet. And we sow them late and we sow them in bags because as they grow on, and if the weather does turn and it goes really wet, we can just move the bags inside, and that will then give us our late harvest of salad potatoes. And then next on the list, how can I forget, it's the kale bed. And sowing kales now will extend that season yet again, because these are looking good now and they will last if we get a good summer. The Kale Nero is bulletproof through winter. It's a fantastic plant, but what can happen is as we get a really hot sweaty summer, these can bolt and sort of be all over. So by planting that new kale now, we can just have a little bit of an insurance policy about getting a decent kale harvest. And of course this is the dwarf green kale. If we let this sit or too much moisture gets onto this, we can get some real problems. So just keep an eye on this and let the airflow happen, and we're on to a winner. So the next thing on the list to sow in July is of course lettuce, because we want a continuous supply of lettuce. This bed is starting to bolt and we're on the last legs of it, so I'm harvesting it as much as I can, but there's only so much lettuce I can eat, so it's coming to an end and this bed will need to be replanted. Luckily for you guys, I've got some red mixed lettuce here in plugs. This was sown last month, and as you can see, it's not a whole lot of growth on there, but it's enough. So if we sow again, we've got that succession, and as we get further along on the season, I can then start thinking about putting some lettuce into hanging baskets again when we get into that end of September. So lettuce for your sowing in July. So next on the list, it's going to be the green sprouting broccoli, and this is the purple sprouting broccoli. And as you can see, the florets are coming up now, but it does really want to go to seed. So this isn't going to give us a very big harvest whatsoever. So we plant now, we look forward to the future, and then this prolongs the harvest of your broccoli. Now take a look at this very sad looking onion bed. These were from onion sets planted in the autumn, and of course we've had the wettest autumn and spring on record, so they've not come out very well. There's some in here, but yeah. The thing that has worked this year are the onions I've sown from seed, and these are coming along absolutely perfect. So what we're going to do, we're going to sow some tough ball onions seeds, starting from the middle to the end of July, and then we'll see where we go with those. Now another great thing to sow in July is of course carrots, and these, believe it or not, are what we sown in June. They're just starting to come through, so that proves how long it takes for these to germinate. It's taken 3 weeks and they're literally, I'd say, an inch tall, so not a lot, but at least they germinated. And the reason why is because I kept the area moist, and as free of weeds as what I could manage, but there's still some in there. We keep going. So we want a late cropping carrot to go in, and you can sow these anytime from now all the way through July. And then the last thing for me, or for what I'm sowing, is of course Bright Light's Chard, and it's one of my favourite plants, and if you haven't given it a go, give it a go. But be wary where you plant this, so don't try and germinate it or let it grow on in the polytunnel through a summer, because it doesn't like being really hot. So just be careful where you put it. It will grow in a shade in summer, so if you put it somewhere in dappled shade, it may be perfect. But the Bright Light's Chard is something that can survive most winters, so look towards sowing towards the end of July. And of course, it's something I don't really sow a lot here, but if you want that little bit extra, turnips are always good to direct sow this time of year. Guys, as always, I'm going to put a link in the description to the exact vegetable names that I grow, so you can follow along that way if you want to. And also in the description, you're going to see a link for the newsletter, and it's monthly, and it's just going to be your sowing guide and nothing else. No, what I'm doing is it's just what you need when you need it, and that's what the way I operate. So with all that being said, if it did help you out, please give me a big thumbs up and leave a comment if you can. And if you haven't already, why haven't you subscribed? And we'll see you on the next video.